So I've just put my first ever offer down for a house. I've just gone to visit or have a viewing at a house, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Like, I always thought that I wanted something modern. I always thought I wanted a flat as well, but I've actually gone with a house. It's such a sweet little chicken house. Like, I just absolutely love it. I'm thinking while I'm looking at it, like, what could I do to it? What could I kind of improve? What could I alter? So there are a few things that I've got like in my mind, like ideas, but overall it's so cute and I feel like I could do so much with it. It's perfect for like just one person. I'm chuffed. So just went to view it and came back and went into the offices like in person, and yeah, put an offer down. I want to just obviously send questions like, why is this way? You know, what can I do about this? Are there these and these problems? It's always good to ask these things. But yeah, this morning, I literally only this morning got a mortgage in principle for when I do obviously put an offer down, put the offer down. So things are moving pretty fast today. I have been viewing quite a few properties since May, so 4 or 5 months, something like that. It's obviously coming up to mid-September now. I've been looking at all different locations and I always just come back to Dorset. So again, it might not go through, but I'm just processing and just showing you the process of like buying a house, or like my experience. And yeah, it might not go through. Fingers crossed that it will. Fingers crossed I'll be open to it. So that's all you can do. You can just wait. If it doesn't work, we'll go for something else, you know. Okay, excuse the hair. I am just processing what's just happened. I got a call earlier on today at work and my offer has been accepted. I'm gonna be a homeowner. Like, what? I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Like, all I wanted to do was like literally the past like few hours of work, I was like, I just want to go home, send all the emails, like make sure that I'm getting all the right people in to like sort out the house so that it's prepared and like, you know, I can move this process on as quickly as possible. What I am quite keen to do is go and view it again at the end of the week and just like have a look. I've just been desperate to go back and just check out like a second time, because I feel like when you go again you sort of notice things that you like, you think, oh, this would look good there and so on. And I have tried like not to get attached to it because I might not have got it. And we initially put in a lower offer because obviously that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? You're supposed to kind of like put in a lower offer and then like work it up with the vendor. And they did that. They were like, they're kind of looking for the asking price. And we said, look, we'll go with the asking price. And they called me and they were like, so we got some good news. And I was like, that's the update. I'm chuffed. It's really nice as well, actually, because I found out that it's like 300 years old. It was made in the 1700s, I believe, and it was the old lodgings for tanners, and tanners are people who used to work with leather back in the day. Like, it feels like such a massive life stage. I'm already on the leg up to my first house. It's so hard out here, and you know, I have had financial help from my family as well. I've saved up some money myself to just kind of get over the little hump of actually putting down a deposit and having enough money and so on to actually afford a house. So yeah, grateful for my parents, obviously proud of myself for saving as well. So I feel this incredible sense of like, I'm going to be free soon, like I'm going to be independent again. It's close to the gym, it's close to the supermarket, it's close to like a cute little river, it's tucked away. It's just going to be so elite. And now I'm going to go out for a drink with my parents to celebrate. Okay, so I'm about to head to my second viewing. I'm going to go view the property again, just kind of get like re-inspired, look at where I could put stuff, because now obviously I can be invested in it. Like, my offer's been accepted, like I can actually look at it from like a genuine point of view and be like, yeah, I could put that there, I could put that there, or I could do this with this room. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before I was like holding back because I just didn't know if I was going to get it. So gonna head there with my parents now, view it for a second time, get re-inspired. Yeah, let's go.
Today, and then you
Fair enough, Dad. I'm having a very house-focused weekend. Because it's an old house, there's going to be things that aren't quite right. Part of the purchase of buying like a listed building is really important to do a survey. Obviously, you can not do it, but the problem is when you don't do that, there can be things that crop up when you buy it that may have prevented you or may have put you off buying it. So it kind of saves you a lot of money. Mine's going to cost around £800. Fortunately, I've saved up a bit of money for these kind of costs like solicitors, mortgage brokers, surveying fees. Yesterday, I kind of like totted up actually the cost of the purchase and also the cost of like living expenses, so how much it would cost me to live in my house with all of my bills and everything. It's very manageable, it's very doable. I feel very grateful for that because that's kind of rare. Usually most people are like punching above their weight. I definitely was when I was renting. So yeah, I've enlisted a surveyor to review the house, have a look to see if there's any like areas of damp, any improvements, any problems with the house that I need to be aware of. And it's going to be quite comprehensive. Like, I know that my brother's was like 30 pages long or something. I'm getting a level 3 done. There's certain grades in terms of, I suppose, thoroughness they will go into in terms of reviewing the house. So everything's pretty much in order. I've sent off the documents I need to send off to the agent for them to kind of proceed with the purchase. My mortgage broker's on holiday, so he doesn't even know my offer was accepted yet. And then of course the surveyor is ready and raring to go. So he'll be doing that on the 25th of October. Today it's the 28th. So roughly a month's time, probably looking at moving in earliest like January. Now I'm about to go to like a charity shop sort of furniture, secondhand furniture store with my mum in my local town, just to have a look, just review. I'm not going to be storing any of this stuff or buying any stuff before I move in because it's not fair on my parents, but I'm going to obviously just figure out what I like, my taste, and get an idea of what I can do with the rooms that I have, the bathroom, the kitchen and so on that I have. I think I will have to come up with a bit of a budget and save up a bit for furniture and things like that. It's one of the most thrilling things, I think, to have your own space, have your own ability to like pick your decor, how your space is going to look. I'm so excited for that part. I just can't wait to have my own space. I cannot wait to have my own house, and it's a house and it's so beautiful. It is absolutely me to a T, that house.
Cheers. Happy house.
This weekend I have done my mortgage application, so that is being processed now. So really it's just a case of waiting. My survey is booked for the 25th of October, 20 days time, so actually quite soon. So once that's done, I will check everything, obviously, to check that there's no problems. So I've got my mortgage agreed, so the people who are loaning me the money will obviously go and check the house as well, because once you loan somebody money, you want to make sure that it's a good investment. I'm sure this will actually be quite a swift transaction. There's no onward chain. I've got no chain. I'm a first time buyer. Like, I think I'm going to manifest that I'll be in before the new year. We will see. Because I've had a pay rise this month, I was able to actually command a better mortgage. So that was agreed today. I've been saving quite a lot of money, obviously, knowing that I was going to buy a house when I moved back home to my parents' house. So I've been saving money, and I've actually deposited some of it into my LISA. And the good thing is, with your LISA, once a year, you get like a free grand if you put in 4 grand. It happens again once a year, just free from the government to help people buy their first home. Now that I put that 4 grand into my LISA, I should get another grand within the next 6 weeks or so. Everything's kind of falling into place. I always get a bit suspicious when things are going smoothly. I need to be positive, and I'm sure everything will work out. Obviously, as I showed before, I've been to some charity shop places, some junk places, just to have a look at like the kind of decor that I want. Love that like Georgian regal from like Bridgerton, lol, but I love that look. But I also love the cottage core thing. And one of my favorite creators on Instagram, Yawande, she was on Love Island. She's kind of done that decor in her house. Like, she's managed to marry the two of that sort of Georgian royal look, but also with the cottage core in parts. And that's literally what my gaff could look like. Like, that's what my house could look like very easily. I'm very inspired by that, and it's like nice to see what I envisage in somebody else's property as well. So yeah, that's the update for 5th of October. Exciting. I received the survey a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been looking through it, reading through it, highlighting key things, issues with the property, things that I'll need to fix, and essentially coming up with a bit of a budget and a bit of a cost plan so that I can go back to the vendor and say, these are the repairs and this is how much it's going to cost me, to see if I can negotiate a lesser price. It's literally an 80-page document. Finally come up with a list of all the problems with the property, so I can relay that now back to the solicitor / vendor, so they can come back to me. And fortunately, I have actually met the next door neighbour, so I'm gonna write down a list of things I want to ask him, just because it saves me having to wait to hear back from the vendor, especially things like asbestos, like knowing where that is. I think I need scaffolding, so I'm gonna ask him how much his scaffolding was, whether or not it was like permitted for him to place it at the back of the property as well as at the front, because the back of the property is actually not even our part of our house. It's actually somebody else's garden, I think. So yeah, just going through that now. So a quick update on the house. I had a builder go and look at it on Thursday with my parents because I was at work, and there's actually a fewer things that are problematic. I listed up, like I built up a list of 17 problems, like the chimney needs to be replaced because it's like leaking in water. There's like a springy first floor that needs to be checked, like the timbers need to be checked for like woodworm and things like that. But the builder went and had a look. He's kind of like going to look at this look at what I've said, I'll amalgamate a quote that I can then take to the vendor, and then I can ask obviously for a lower price. By the end of this month, I'll actually be able to command a bigger mortgage because I've had a pay rise. So it means that the money that I have, my deposit amount, I'll be able to put towards the repairs, which is really good. So basically at the point now, like, we need to get a quote. Once the quote's done for the house, I can then present that to the vendor. Vendor accepts it or not, the actual purchase can probably go ahead, and hopefully I'll be in by the end of the year. Okay, so a quick update on the house situation. Also, new hair. Not looking the cutest, but new hair. I received the repairs that needed to be done back from the builder, or at least the quotes for them and the pricing. It came out as a lot more significant than I thought it would be. So I went back to the vendor and I was like, can we have this specific discount for the repairs that need to be done, or at least ask them to reduce the price, because the things that need to be fixed are really important. It like makes the house watertight. Like at the moment the chimney's leaking, it's affecting like all the other chimney breasts in the house, and it's causing things like the bricks to rot and the timbers to kind of rot. It's really weird how much you learn about house, you know, materials and the goings on in a house. The vendor got back to me last week and they said yes. They said, yeah, that's a fine price, we're happy with that, so we're proceeding. So really, I was hoping to hear back from my solicitor today and we can proceed. I'd love to be in there, or at least have it under my belt before Christmas. But really it's up to like the solicitors getting the checks done and, you know, talking to each other. But both me and the vendor want to proceed ASAP, so. Okay, good morning. I've got a little update for you. I know that like much of the initial part of the vlog has been like updates and just like me talking, but today I have a bit more of a practical thing that I want to show you. Last night I was in bed, and it always happens when I'm like, can't do anything about it, is I had loads of ideas about how I want to lay out my room. But aside from that, they're just checking for asbestos, so we should get the results back today. It doesn't matter if there is, in the sense of like, it's not going to change whether or not I want to proceed with the purchase, but it's just good for my information to know, so that if I want to do like building repair work or whatever, I know that there's asbestos. Obviously it's better if there isn't, because I can just like chill out. I just want to know. I don't really want to like go into the purchase not knowing whether or not there's asbestos. Anyway, today I'm going to do the layout of the top room, but I've just had like so many ideas about it being kind of like boudoir and just storage stuff as well. So I'm going to show you what I'm thinking and kind of like explain it as I go. So this is the picture that I have for reference. I think I'll probably have like the bed there. This was where the bed would have originally been, by the fireplace. But I want to make the fireplace like a signature part of the room. I'm really glad it just has like the one light fitting, because I'm going to have a chandelier here, and there's like the loft as well. So it's slanted when it gets to here. So I was literally thinking of having like a 4-poster bed, but I don't know how the fuck that's gonna work now. Like I just saw one and thought it looked cute, so I'm gonna have to think of a bed to go here, but I want it in this spot here. I don't want it there, I want it in the corner as you come up the stairs, which admittedly is not great feng shui, but what can you do? I've been looking at Pinterest and I've just had such a good idea. So you know I said like I wanted like a 4-poster bed because I liked that aesthetic. Like I'll show you now. So yeah, I really like the 4-poster kind of like bed aesthetic. I wanted it black actually without any of the curtains, but I've just seen this image of it coming from the ceiling. And I don't know if I'd have it exactly like that, but I could easily do that because like it kind of creates a bit of separation from other parts of like the room, and it's still giving that 4-poster aesthetic. So this is what the roof looks like. Here is where it will be sloped, so I'd probably have like the material hanging from that part to make it look kind of cozy. So I kind of like that idea because I can have that in the corner where the bed is. That can be like where the curtains come down, and then the rest of the space is kind of like cordoned off slightly, but it's giving that boudoir vibe. Like I like the boudoir vibe, so I've just typed in boudoir aesthetic, the kind of fireplace, the kind of materials as well, like fur and long curtains and yeah, that kind of thing, like nice lights. And then also I wanted to have like the desk here, so there's like the banister from the stair here, and then there's like this whole space in this corner. So I thought about having a desk like next to the banister overlooking the stairs, but I just feel like that doesn't look so cute. So I was thinking maybe having like a little curve here, so I've got more space, and like it can like double up as a multifunctional sort of desk. So I have things like, I really want to get a sewing machine, like my MacBook. There's this bit here, there's this ledge, So I could hang some kind of, I guess, lace there or have it coming like that, kind of separate it from bedroom and work. That little cupboard is an airing cupboard. So that's an airing cupboard. There's like a boiler in there, but there's a few shelves in there. So I can put things like towels, linen, that kind of thing in there. I also, I don't know if you can see, there's like this really ugly like little radiator in the corner. So I want to cover that up, but there are some really nice radiator covers that have like swirly whirlies on it. So I can figure that out, or I could just get rid of it, like put in a new radiator. I kind of want to get one of those ottoman beds where there's storage underneath. So I can put like my kind of jumpers, tops, trousers in there, and then have the nicer stuff on display. I really like the idea of being able to like display my favorite pieces in this space. So like my shoes, my bags, my coats. But I was thinking about having like a railing that comes and like almost like comes out like a little, like goes like duh, 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 but the kind of curves are smoothed, so that I could get little hangers and hang up my bags or hang up my clothes and display it in a nice way in that corner. So in the center, oh my God, no, stop. A combination of that little pink one there, I mean probably a bit bigger, but something like a combination of these two, like the aesthetic of that, but then you can fit like all your shoes in. That is cute, like putting all your heels in there. I also have an abundance of heels and I have no idea where I'm gonna put it. I guess I'm just gonna put it downstairs somewhere, but some kind of like storage poof that you have in like the middle of the room where you can like store like blankets, shoes, my hair stuff. There is, I'm gonna get rid of this because it's fucking ugly, but there's this section here where like I could probably hang like a little railing and just put like 3 or 4 coats there specific to the season. So it's like, and again, it's on display, it's nice. There's also like a ton of storage in here. There'll be a table here for just dining. This will be removed. I'll have a nice sofa here. So I've gone and like listed all the things I want to store in the specific places. So like here, if we had a little chair, I put like my computer accessories, my camera stuff. And I really like the idea of a curtain to like separate work from like play, as it were. All my hair accessories in this storage part, and now I'm just doing this bit, so I think probably I put like jumpers, trousers, coats would be like hung here, and then 7 to 8 nice bags. That's what it's kind of looking like so far. There have been quite a few updates since we last spoke. So now the vendor and the estate agent are like, do you want to try and complete next Friday? And I'm like, fuck, that's like 10 days away. They want to try and complete then and exchange on the same day. So I've just had to think like, how am I going to get the money out of my LISA, because that's where much of my deposit is coming from. You have to fill in a form to draw that money out. So I've done that, filled that in, I sent it off to my solicitor. So really I'm just waiting at this moment for the vendor, because my solicitor has to ask them questions and they have to answer those questions before exchange and obviously completion. Things like planning permission, what I'm going to get as part of the property. Am I going to get the fridge? Am I going to get the cooker? Am I going to get like the sofa bed? Like what's included? It's crazy because the estate agent keeps asking me like, oh, we've been waiting a while, like where are you at? And I'm like, girl, I haven't changed my story for the past like month. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for the vendor. You know, she's like, oh, the vendor, you know, is keen to close at this time. I'm like, I'm not stopping you. I'm ready and raring to go. If you just get back to my solicitor with the answers, we'll be there by next Friday, which is crazy. So, oh, I also had such a hectic lunch as well, because I like got a call from my mortgage broker as well, because he was like, I just want to check that my mortgage is still in place, because it lasts for like 6 months after you apply for it, and I applied for it kind of late summer, I think September or October, and I need to make sure that it's still like valid. He also needs to quote me on like building and contents insurance. Quoted me on that today. It's kind of expensive, so I'm gonna have to do my own investigation or like own comparing, so whatever, of like different offers. He came up with one for £71 a month and I found one for 35. I thought the fact that it's like a listed building would make a significant difference, but I said in the one that I did that I was of the listed building and it literally was less, so I don't really understand. Anyway, that's what happened this lunchtime. So like when I came home I was like, right, email, call this person. I got like an email from like my agent, then I also needed to call my solicitor, then I also needed to call the mortgage broker, like I said. Very hectic, like 45 minutes, because I have like 45 minutes of lunch. But I'm grateful that I get my own space and I'll have my own place. Everything's done. I'm gonna send it off now. Okay, so excuse the appearance. I've just sent off my form to be able to take the money out of my LISA. I got it from AJ Bell, which is who I bank with for my LISA, and I've just sent that to my solicitor, so he just needs to fill in another section of it. He'll then send that to AJ Bell to then withdraw it. And then I think that's pretty much me done. It's the 12th of January today. I'm hoping for like the 20th, the 21st of January, and then I'll be a homeowner, which is insane. So as you just saw, I like signed the contract. So I'm that much closer to finally purchasing, and I'm hoping to exchange definitely this Friday, so the 24th. So I've signed all the documents for exchange now. I read through like loads of stuff yesterday. You would have seen my videos of like going through everything my solicitor sent me with all of his like research, all of his answers to questions that he's asked. I couldn't agree more. So I don't really know what's gonna happen. My dad's told me that essentially like my solicitor will call me up after he's kind of read through and check that I've signed everything, and just say like, he'll read off a script apparently and just say like, are you ready to complete? Like, are you ready to go forward? And I'll obviously have to officially be like, yeah. I think when I first got the email from my solicitor, I literally had something like, well, I had 4 emails from the start. I think he sent me about 15 to 20 documents for me to like read through and look at. Obviously the letter that he sends where he's got all his like findings, his answers and stuff, you know, he'll refer to like different documents and things. So that was helpful. And I was on holiday last week, so I just wanted to chill, but I kind of was stressed about the house stuff. And I got to get somebody as well at my work to sign like one of the documents, just to say like they've witnessed me sign it. I can see the end now, you know, it's been a long thing. Everybody knows a house purchase is horrible, and I cannot even imagine what it must be like to sell a property at the same time as trying to buy as well. So that's something I haven't had to consider, and this has been stressful enough. Like, I really didn't know if I could like go to work this week, so I was so worried about everything, but it's turned out okay. And it's January, so it's like the perfect January pick me up, you know. So there's one final query that I want to ask my solicitor about. So I'm just going to do that now before I go to work, and obviously before I hand in the form, because it's like, it is a significant thing. I need to know it before I obviously exchange, but I also kind of want to like get this done and get the form over. So I'm just going to let him know ahead of it. He can hopefully respond in time, and then I'd be expecting me to come in at lunch. Done it.
Is that it? Anything
Well,
outstanding?
Yeah, I've just sent over the update of my address and the amount of funds I want to take from my LISA for the deposit, and then I've also responded to the solicitor
Right.
with...
So I wonder how long AJ Bell will get back to you then.
Don't know. Sorry if it's a bit windy. I'm on my way to go and drop off my mortgage deed in person. I've drawn down my LISA, so obviously that contributes to the deposit, so hopefully it all should be fine. Other updates, I'm still trying to find out like which part of the herb garden and which outhouse is mine, but other than that I think that's pretty much it. Nearly at the solicitors now, so yeah, that's one thing ticked off the list. There is still this recurring problem that I don't know which outhouse belongs to me based on the plans that we've been given for both next door and me. Also, we're having a bit of a block in terms of like fund releasing. So like I said, I've been using a LISA, and they're really funny about taking the LISA down. So I will never see my LISA money. It will only ever be seen by my solicitor. And the reason that is because with the LISA, if you put in £4,000 a year, I think you get £1,000 back. I must have explained this before. Because it's kind of like free money essentially, it needs to be going through the solicitor because it's specifically for first time buyers. But there's just been snags. For example, I've moved house quite a lot in the past few years, and the address on where the LISA is has not been updated, so they've like, right, we can't do that until we've updated your address. So I've had to wait for a letter to come in the post confirming that change. In my LISA, a lot of the money was locked up in shares. It wasn't like cash, because obviously it fluctuates, so I wanted to try and get the most out of the money that I had in there. I sold the shares, but unfortunately I wrote the amount that I wanted to take out or withdraw before I sold the shares, so the amount that I was able to actually sell the shares for was lower the next day. Basically, they said the amount that you asked for doesn't match like what you have in the account, and then they said like, right, can you confirm what you want? So I've had to reconfirm that, which is just the money that's in there.
So I'm just like waiting for them to get back to me. I'm not very well either, like I'm so unwell. I've had to take the rest of the day off work. I was honestly like woozy in the meeting. I was like going lightheaded. I was like, I've got to go home. So it's just like every time I feel like really run down at this time of year, bear in mind it's January and it's like shit outside, I'm just then faced with having to deal with like house stuff when I come home, so it is quite challenging. Anyway, I'm still grateful, like come on Hattie, like it's a fucking house, calm down. But yeah, so that's what's being held up. So tomorrow I'm going round to try and check out the outhouse stuff. My dad has sent me directly to my bank the gift that he's giving me, so I've got my own deposit money and then he's helped me out too, so he's transferred that over. So really I'm just waiting for the LISA funds to be unlocked, because once all those funds are unlocked, that's all ready to go. Also, I had a little bit of a wobble in the sense of like, I do really like my house, like it is so cute, and I like the fact that it's a cottage, I like the fact that I've got a garden, all that kind of stuff, but